What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about the plaintiff's response to our objections. All right, because they came out yesterday was the deadline, and they put them out last night. And somebody sent me a copy of the PDFs, and I've been reading them all morning. Okay, one thing I want to bring to your attention real quick is going to be page 7. All right, they say something on page 7 that's pretty interesting. Right here. Despite loud objections by a tiny minority, the settlement of this challenging case merits approval. Okay? Now, what does that mean? Right here, they're trying to minimize our objections. Alright? They're saying that we're such a tiny minority, the judge shouldn't listen to us. Rather we're right or wrong, and rather this case that backs us up or not, we're such a tiny minority. But let me tell you something. Change has happened because a small minority. So to try to minimize our objections to being a number, which they do right here on page 8, I think. Yeah. And they say, listen, all the objections that we've got, okay, it's really only 0.00075 of the estimated 3.8 million. And there they go with that estimation bullshit again. Why can't they tell us how many shareholders they are? Huh? Yeah. But that's another example of where they tried to minimize the effect of the complaint, because even if we're right, such a small minority of people who are complaining should not be able to dictate to Adam Aaron what he should do. Alright, so let me look at the next note and I'll be right back. Alright, this is where shit starts getting deep and people start getting exposed, okay? Because as the story goes right here, that of approximately 2,850 purported objectors, almost half, about 1,235, did not include any information regarding their holdings. Of objectors, including some evidence of beneficial ownership, such as a copy of their brokerage statement, they didn't have a name attached to the brokerage statements. They're trying to wiggle out of how many objections they actually have to answer to. All right. But what's interesting is they bring us up right here and they say Rose is, to plaintiff's knowledge, the only objector represented by counsel. That's the third time they've brought that up. Is that the objectors without counsel, as if our objections should be considered less. That since Rose's objections has counsel attached to it, hers has more validity. So you shouldn't pay attention to ours. But watch what they're about to say. Approximately 280 objectors submitted a version of the form objection, a 23,888 word, 87-page submission authored and publicized primarily by several would-be interveners, Jordan Offholster, Ethan, A. Matthews, and Brian Tuttle. All right. So now what they're saying there is they're ratting to the judge and saying 280 at least people. They just following Al from Boston and Brian Tuttle and Jordan and Ethan. They just copied it, and you're going to see in a minute. They just copied their objections and sent it in, and it's 23,888, and they're just going on. Now watch when they talk about me. They say approximately 150 objectors submitted variations of documents drafted and shared on social media by Bubby Gunner, that's the Common Sense Investor, and they call it the Gunner objection, who provided instructions on his YouTube channel for individualizing submissions using ChatGPT. And then they got a footnote right there, 11. And it says a copy of the Gunner objection and instructions is attached as Exhibit 4. Due to the use of AI software, the stated number of Gunner-derived objections may not be precise, which means because y'all use ChatGPT to help y'all draft y'all's letter, I just provided what my objections would be, and if you agreed with them, you could use ChatGPT, and I showed y'all how to do it. They're saying, so there's no telling how many people Bubby Gunner influenced into their letters using ChatGPT. There would be no way of knowing that. That's what they're saying right there. Alright, then they get to uncovering some deep shit, okay? Scoot on all the way down here to page 20, from 11 to 20, and look what they're saying again. Tellingly, Izzo's objection, the only one filed by counsel. See how they keep using that phrase throughout this whole document? That's because they'll be leading up to something in the end. Now here's where they go to telling on everybody now. Be cool and watch what's about to happen here. There's a guy or person named Ursula, alright? And he's filed an objection. And he's trying to drag this out as long as possible. And what they've just proved in their document is that Ursa has a 11.3 million common stock put options valued at over $57 million. This person that's objecting, that's what they have, $11 million worth of puts. And so now they get to argue that his motivation for objecting to this suit is that he wants the price of AMC to go down. All right? But then it gets even more interesting, because now that they brought this up and they exposed him, they say, well, what about the rest of these people? And they bring up, right here at the bottom of page 28, plaintiffs cannot know which objectors or internet influencers driving objections, talking about me and Al, all right, they specifically named both of us, are actually aligned with the class. They can't have no way of knowing whether me and Al are aligned with the class. So they done an investigation. And on page 37, it says that Ursula had a massive short position, and Izzo had a long position in ape. So both of these objectors had something to gain from their objections, all right, and wished to intervene. Then they said, also demonstrated by the number of form, which is the Al from Boston's form, and Gunner objections. They named my objections after me. They didn't name Al's. They didn't name it the Al objection. Volume has been driven by YouTube and Twitter influencers publicizing plug-and-play objections to following in the 4 or 5 figures. Some, like Al from Boston, aka AP Matthews, who never submitted any proof of ownership, receive ad revenue and generate thousands of views per video. Now you see what they just accused Al from Boston of? They didn't accuse me of that. They said Al from Boston has not even proved he's a member of the class, and he's making these videos and causing people to send these forms in, and he has never even proved he's a class member. So he's doing it for clicks and views. That's what they're accusing Al of. All right. Now, they don't know how many people filed in accordance with me, because y'all used AI, which there's nothing wrong with that. All right. The AI is nothing more than a tool, and I'll be able to defend that position when the time comes. So I'm not worrying about that. But then again, you see right here at the bottom, all right, we're only 0.0007%. I don't care if it's just 0.00001% and the motherfucker's right and it's the law. The judge is going to follow it. So there you have it. That's the latest update right now. I got the other one right here. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to read it again and go see what's happening next door. I'll be back later on to update y'all on what's going on as soon as I can. They had some pretty good arguments, people. They knocked 2 of them out the park. Al from Boston and this other guy knocked them out the park. Now they're going to try to discredit the attorney for Izzo. But here's the funny thing. They never addressed me at all. All they say, okay, bring it on, bitches. Bring it on. I know what you're planning on doing, and I'm ready for it. So let's do the damn thing. But we have to wait because they didn't send their Exhibit E or whatever they called it, that they was going to be dealing with just me. Okay, deal with my objections. And I'll talk to y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Be blessed.